Coming to Bangalore to stay with my son and daughter-in-law is always a privilege. Not only we get some time to stay with our children, but also we get time to explore here and there. This time they announced that they would be taking us to Kerala and we would be spending 2 full days in a 5-star property of Taj, Bekal Taj. Myself, my husband, my son, my daughter-in-law and their pet Bruno, we set on our journey in their car. Our way was through Mysore and also Coorg. It seemed that the journey was through the nature, lovely trees and lovely ambience. Soon we reached Taj Hotel in Bekal, Kerala, and we were welcomed and it was really nice to be at the reception and then to go to our room. Taj Bekal is a big property with lots of trees and lots of natural surroundings. We got the privilege of our own private swimming pool and a nice big room along with a good veranda surrounded with lot of greenery. Later on we came to know that it was supposed to be a surprise from our children and an occasion to celebrate Father's Day. The hotel had not kept any stone unturned to keep the guests honored. The first few minutes went on the screening of our property and enjoying every bit of it. The mind was already planning what are going to be our next activities. The weather was superb, just lovely. Everything seemed to be so perfect to spend family time together. Let me tell you, there is a special charm when the whole family unites in a third place, away from home. There is a typical sense of freedom, there is a typical sense of joy, and of course, happiness quotient is at its highest. Since it was a long car drive, around 8 hours or so we were a little tired, but then we also needed a nice lunch. And so we all headed towards the dining area. Since it was a big property, so it took us some time to reach there. And the way, of course, was so beautiful. And I always wanted to click as many photographs as possible because every tree, every plant, every nuance of the hotel just took my attention. Really very beautifully done up surroundings. The way to the dining space was also as if I was taking a nature walk. All around me were all tall trees. And of course, the dining area was so big. And I was just looking which table I need to occupy. And it was done up in a very traditional manner. The sutli was used to do the ceiling. Of course, we placed an order for our dishes, and it was really a sumptuous meal in the lunch. The beach was barely 200 steps from the Taj Hotel, and it looked as if the hotel only owned this beach and as if it was its private beach. Of course, it was not, but then the location of the hotel was such that it looked as if it owned the beach, and we really had a lovely time on the beach. The property had so many statues around, and we really loved seeing every detail of the decoration. Soon it was getting dark, and of course, during the night time also, the campus looked so beautiful, and everywhere, there were hidden lights and very nicely decorated lamp posts. Beautiful Taj property this was. Talking, laughing, discussing all the topics in the world, we really enjoyed our time together. not forgetting to see here and there and again appreciate all the small, small things that the Taj people had taken care of. Soon it was time for dinner, and this time we chose the part of the hotel which was by the bay.
To the sea. I won't cry, I won't run, no, I won't just run, potato, up the Russian green. They put some poison into his wine. Run, I belong, West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home, country road. All my memories gather round her. I belong, West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home.
Next morning started with visiting the
Se destiñó esta capa azul y me quedé sin mi princesa Bis. Me daba cuenta por el rancio olor que dejó el vino que no te serviste. No te arrepientas de lo que se fue ayer, tal vez.
I could be by the side of the beach forever. Really, so much of solace, so much of calm. Soon it was breakfast time, and of course, it was difficult to choose what to eat and what not to eat. Yeah, really lovely cuisine, and everything tasted so nice. Enjoyed all the delicacies of the chefs of Taj. Lovely eating there. Then, of course, clicking pictures and enjoying the ambience once again. Beautiful. Of course, I wanted to go out and have a look of the local village, Bekal, situated in Kerala. And then I was told that there are two nice Shiva temples over here, and we set out for the temples. Visiting temples in the south is always such a privilege. They are so different from the temples of the north, and I really loved clicking pictures. And there is a fort also in which I was so much interested. I myself had spent my entire childhood on the fort of Gwalior, so I am always intrigued by the mystic forts of our country. And this was a very typical and different fort because they told me that the Raja never stayed over here. It was a fighting fort. So, this was the first time I was visiting a fighting fort. And then later on, I realized that there were. That is why the ground was so big and there was an elevated space from which we could see the Arabian Sea and the surrounding green areas. Awesome view, awesome view. The monsoon in Kerala had already set in, so it was really a very typical and different greenery to see, and also the small droplets falling on us. And the peacock, oh my god, it just added to the ambience. Then it was time to again go back to our hotel and take some rest and go in for evening tea because the breakfast that we had taken was so heavy, so we never wanted to go in for lunch. And so this is the place where we were offered evening tea with very very light snacks, and all the people who were already staying in this hotel, they also came down to have the tea together. It was great time in the dining space, and again we went out to explore the other areas of the hotel. And there was an area where backwaters were there, and there was a nice bridge. And of course, they had several huts here and there so that we can just casually sit and stand and chat and look around and enjoy the beauty, and again have a glimpse of the beach also. And going to the beach several times was not a problem for me at all, because first of all it was at walking distance, and then I always enjoyed the sound of those waves coming up the shore. And then it was the dinner time, and of course we had sumptuous dinner. There was this small snail also in my room. I loved clicking it. And of course we had a nice sleep, and next morning we had to again after breakfast we had to check out. So packing and leaving out was the decision. The road was again the same beautiful road by which we had come. Loved seeing around through the window and through the roof of my son's car, and I really loved the treetops being viewed from inside the car. Lovely and awesome trip to Bekal Taj.